great thing. Even when he was young, people would always compliment him on his looks. The summer after he turned 13, he'd had a huge growth spurt. He had shot up 6 inches, and his shoulders had broadened. He now stood 6 feet 2 with caramel skin and a sculpted body that turned the heads of women and girls. Tonight, he was feeling himself. Usually he was on ready, set, go. But for a brief moment, he was going to allow himself to chill. He stopped at a red light, and a group of college girls walked by. They slowed down and seductively waved at King. He nodded at them and flashed his 1,000-watt smile as they smiled back. The light turned green, and he hit the accelerator. Resting his right hand on his steering wheel, he allowed his left hand to hang over the door. As he cruised, his mind drifted back to his teenage years when he was just 16 years old. King was in the driver's seat of his father's Mercedes. They were listening to Frankie Beverly and Maze's Before I Let Go, which was his father's favorite song. King bobbed his head to the music while his father ran down some facts about the family business of hustling. Reggie reached over and turned down the volume on the radio. "Listen, Ronnie," Reggie said, calling King by his first name while looking out of the passenger's window. "Son, this life we in is like no other. These streets ain't got no love for no damn body. Games are for chumps, not for this business. This is some serious shit, and you can never underestimate a man's intentions when it comes to being on top. You feel me?" King smiled as Reggie's face began to fade into the side glass of the downtown building. His heart ached as the pain of losing his father at such a young age began to resurface. King took a deep breath. As he exhaled, his current world came back into view. As his mind cleared of his father, he pressed the volume button on the radio. Jay-Z's Heart of the City, Ain't No Love pumped through the Bose speakers. Damn, Dad kept it all the way real, King thought to himself. He approached the top of the hill and dropped the car down into second gear. This was the perfect place to test out the power of his new toy. He looked at the clock. He had spent enough time bullshitting around. He was only about 20 minutes from his trap house. He needed to meet Strap, collect his money, and make sure those fools had everything bagged up. This was not the night to be running late. It was Friday, and the spot would have been booming all day with business. He didn't like to leave a lot of cash in the hood. It would tempt folks too much. King took out his cell phone and called his boy Strap to make sure everything was ready for him to pick up. The phone rang several times before the voicemail came on. King dialed Strap's number again. It rang twice this time. Then there was silence on the line. "Yo, Strap, what up, fam?" King spoke as he turned down Milton Road. The silence erupted into loud popping sounds. "Strap! Hey, Strap, what the fuck is going on? Strap!" King yelled into his Bluetooth. He heard several more shots and then the line clicked. "Strap! Strap!" King hurriedly pulled over in front of the old Circle K and jumped out. He was only a couple of blocks away from the dope house, and he needed to get his gun out of the trunk. The biggest gang in the city, CMPD, was out heavy on the streets, so he knew he needed to ride somewhat clean, especially on a Friday. King wasn't sure what he was about to walk into, but he knew he'd heard some heavy gunfire when he called Strap. He placed the Glock in the back of his pants and jumped back in the car. Quickly, he popped it into gear and sped out toward the trap house. He killed his lights as he turned down Milton. The street was quiet as King slowly approached the house. He stopped 2 houses down from his destination, parked near some bushes that partially hid his car, and raised his top. The street lights were shot out as usual. The power company had stopped replacing them. King double-checked his clip and quietly made his way up to the trap house. As he approached, he could see someone slumped on the front steps. He ran over to the body and saw his man holding his stomach and moaning. "Ah, fuck, Strap! Shit!" King said, kneeling beside him. "Damn, bruh, where you at?" King asked, while Strap coughed and tried to pull himself up. "Nah, man, stay still. Who the fuck did this?"